Hello everybody and Happy New Year. Welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I am looking at a Jund Alchemy deck, focusing around my boy, as I put in the title, and he is Crucias, Titan of the Waves. This card seems so good that I wanted to kind of make a deck around him, but also I wanted to try out a load more of the other new Alchemy cards. So, starting with Crucias, Titan of the Waves, a black and a red for a 3/3 legendary human pirate. I am running 4, even though he's legendary, because if this card stays on the battlefield, you will eventually win, as long as you have some kind of end game. So, at the beginning of your end step, you may discard a card. If you do, create a treasure token and choose Ambitious or Expedient, and God knows why they have chosen these two words rather than just higher or lower, but trying to be a bit thematic, I suppose. If you chose Ambitious, seek a card with greater mana value than the discarded card. If you chose Expedient, seek a card with lesser mana value than the discarded card. So, if we discard, for example, Molten Impact, we can get any of these 1-drops or any lands, or we can get anything from this pool. So we can basically choose from half of the deck we want to try and random a card out of, which is very nice card selection actually. So for example, this is the reason we have one 6-drop in our deck, because if we discard a 5-drop and we choose Ambitious, we know we're getting the Storm the Festival. You have to be a little bit careful, because if you've used your 1 Storm or it's in the graveyard, obviously you cannot seek it, and therefore you'll get nothing. If we choose Expedient and we discard one of these, we know we're going to get a land, etc. So there are certain things where we can know what we're going to get. If we discard one of these and choose Ambitious, we're likely to get one of these 5-drops, which are kind of end game cards. So anyway, it's kind of very nice selection, especially when you can control which card you discard. So we're playing 4 of him. We're also running 2 of Jarsyl, the Dark Age Scion. I only have 2 of these, but I think 2 is the right number for this deck anyway, probably. It's 1, a red and a green, and it has a 3/3 legendary human wizard, starting intensity 1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, so you get it the turn that you play this, providing you play it before combat, you may cast a spell with mana value equal to Jarsyl Dark Age Scion's intensity from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If you do, perpetually increase Jarsyl's intensity by 1. So turn 1 that you play this, you can play something with mana value 1 out of your graveyard, and that's why we have 6 instants and sorceries at 1, so in the hope that we will have at least one of these in our graveyard by turn 3. So if we play Jarsyl, we also get to play one of these for free on turn 3. We've then got loads of 2-drops, which hopefully will allow us to play a 2-drop, because the obvious thing about this card, or the design of this card, is that you need to play 1 at each mana value to keep it going up. And then we've got fewer as it goes up, but obviously there are still things at each mana value all the way up to 6 that we can probably be playing with Jarsyl. So it gives us that kind of recursion. The opponent has to deal with this card really, otherwise we're going to starting to get real good free value out of this card. Yeah, it just seems really strong in this deck. I'm running 1 Great Desert Hellion, which we played before. It's 1, a black and a red, 5/5, starting intensity 1, and it has a menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you discard a card. So we can choose. We don't have to discard. If you discard, it increases its intensity by 1. When it leaves the battlefield, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards equal to its intensity. So notice leave the battlefield, not die. So even as it gets exiled, you can use that ability, which is nice. Discarding things can be nice in this deck, because we're running Jarsyl. If Jarsyl's intensity is 2 and we don't have any 2-drops in our graveyard, we can discard one with the Great Desert Hellion and then play it for free with Jarsyl. So there's a really nice combination between these 2 cards going on. Outside of that, the other Alchemy cards we're playing is Kayla's Kindling, which I did play in the last deck. I won't go through the whole spellbook, but it's a 5-costing enchantment that does 2 damage when it enters the battlefield, and then we can draft something from its spellbook each turn. The things from its spellbook are all finishers really, or can be finishers in some way, with X damage spells to face. There are 3 of those. Gutter Snipe is a bit of an endgame. Lightning Bolt can finish people off, and Terror of the Peaks is a very nice endgame card. And then we're running 4 of Melt Through. So Melt Through I just want to try out. It's basically a shock, but it has, if it's a creature, it perpetually gains, as long as this creature is on the battlefield. Damage isn't removed from it during cleanup steps. So it can help you remove bigger things by shocking it and then doing more damage to it next turn, either with a creature or with another burn spell. We only have these 2. Alternatively, if you hit something with this and then they block with it the next turn, it could still die. So it's kind of a weird effect, but seems quite interesting to try out. I think it's one of those things that until we try it a bit, we don't know how good it's going to be. 2 Dreams of Steel and Oil to interact with our opponent's hand. I think removing artifacts on creatures is a better option than Duress in Alchemy, as there are lots of creature-based decks out there. And then, to run through the rest of the deck, one Go for the Throat, one Infernal Grasp for a bit of extra removal. Also, it's nice to have some instant speed removal on top of the Molten Impacts. One Bloodthirsty Adversary to recur some of this instance and sorcery package from our graveyard. 4 Tenacious Underdogs. The reason I want 4 of these is that they go very well with Sheoldred, for one, but also 2 is that it's a nice, strong card as a 3-2 on turn 2 that we can play out of our graveyard for free as a 2-drop if we want, or we can start using it as a 4-drop later on to put pressure on the opponent from the graveyard. So a lot of the way that Alchemy goes, or a lot of the card decks that we can be beat by, are ones that are going to run Molten Impacts and things that are going to remove our creatures first. So having a creature that they have to remove because it has 3 power, but gives us benefit if they do, is kind of the reason we're playing this. 2 Citystalker Connoisseur, which is a 4-drop, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, they discard the non-land with the greatest mana value amongst cards in their hand, and we get a blood token, still great value for 4 mana. 2 copies of Sheoldred, I won't even go through that card. Then we're running 1 Storm, because I wanted 1 6-drop because of Crucias, and then we're running 2 Darigaaz, the Shivan Champion, which is the 5 costing 5/5 dragon, which creates eggs that basically after 3 turns you get one of these creatures for free, and you get 1 egg each turn. So it's a bit of endgame for us, a bit of pressure for something they have to deal with, or we're going to start spitting out all these powerful dragons, which will eventually win us the game. So this is there as a threat that they have to deal with, or we eventually win. That's why I'm playing this card, and that's why I'm playing this card, because they both sort of fill that function, but in slightly different ways. We are running 27 lands in this deck. I don't want to be missing land drops. We want to be getting to turn 3 or 4 quickly. That could potentially be 26, but let's see. I think I want to start all decks really with 27 this year. It's a bit of a New Year's resolution for me. Try and actually play the correct number of lands. When you got a 6-drop, I would say it's pretty much always worth playing 27. But anyway, that is the deck. I think it's going to be a pretty powerful, recursive, value-based deck. But let's have some games and see how we get on. Okay, here we go. Brew. Yeah, it's a half decent one. Actually got some removal in our hand, which is nice. That's the one to remove. Because it could take the Trelasara, but then they could, if they play that, they can keep open the treasure for safekeeping always, and we want to be able to pop whatever's next with Grasp. Oh, come on. Maybe they'll put the Cathar down. No. They need to scry for lands. Could be helpful. This pain land's really causing us some pain, eh? We're actually lower than they are. Now, do they go for Cathar, or do they... Dunno. Be interesting to see. On the Hellion, I would expect. Probably worth it. Definitely worth it. Okay, so we can get something else out of their hand. Oh my, oh my. Suppose this one. because it would allow them to draw more. We can't block it, so they could attack endlessly and print the tokens of this. So we have a grasp in the graveyard, so we'll be able to grasp something. Stop any creatures coming out, any life gain I mean. And then they've got quite a tough board to deal with a Sheoldred to boot, and Kayla's down. Innkeeper, so they're going to gain a couple of life, 1 life I mean. They've got, and then they've got the safekeeping for 2 more. See what we get off Kindling. Aha. It's pretty much, yeah, we want to keep the Hellion. So we'll take green. No. So they can go up to 9, which means they have to double block. They're going to cast this anyway because they have to, so they'll save the Innkeeper. They'll only do it once we lightning bolt their face though, I suppose, or they do it now. If they do it now, then I won't bolt face. Yeah. Okay, so now they can use their safekeeping on Adeline. And we'll end turn there. So I could have... No, this died this time, yeah. Thinking I missed lethal there. So unfortunately they could play this. Oh, I would have, yeah, they got 2 2-drops, so they can get 2 veterans out and gain a ton of life. Or a relative ton. There's plenty of things we can get out of Kindling that'll kill them though. Why are they doing it like that? Why did you want to use the treasure? Oh, this costs 1 life and they're just worried about being low. So they can gain 2 more life and get up to 7. This deck is so hard to beat, man. So we're going to be able to play a 3-drop out of our graveyard, which we don't have any of. So I could, obviously this, oh, the Hellion's going to go into the graveyard. Come on. Look, what's going on here? This is madness. So X damage to any target would only be 4. That we're not going to be able to use. I think this is the best option. Okay. So if we do this for 2, we can Electro Dominance for 4. That puts them on 1. We're going to get the Hellion. Wait, we do this for 5, and then we cast the Melt through with it. That's how we win. Thank God. Thank God. Oh my God. Took me a little bit of while to realise that. I nearly would have conceded and missed lethal, but we got there. Okay. Here we go. That last one was so close. That life gain deck is a right pain in Alchemy, honestly. So we'll play this first, and then we can hold it open for Melt through whilst if we have to play this tap plan next time. Yeah, we'll get rid of that veteran for sure. Don't want that. Play this just so they don't know. See if they play that Voice of the Blessed for us to kill. That would be ideal. Okay, we can get rid of that. Discard this. Greater. Another melt through. That's pretty good. Yeah, getting rid of Crucias. I don't blame you. Get the Connoisseur in, I think. Voice of the Blessed gone. Okay, there's probably another one. I think they tried to click that quickly, but there's probably another 2-drop. Nope. Okay. I think we'll just play like this and hold open this 2 damage in case there is a Voice of the Blessed. It's not a Voice of the Blessed. Okay, but it is the only thing they've got. Yep. Good. We need our Crucias back. I guess as long as we discard this, we're going to be fine. Can we hold this Grasp? We can deal with anything that comes out. They're going to be blocking 9 damage next turn. Okay, good. GG. That was pretty sweet. Let's try again. Right, here we go. Fede Bunto. Looks good. Yeah, every single land is tapped on turn 2. Better than having all pain lands though, I suppose. Unlikely we'll need to shoot a turn 1 thing with this. Bing bing, he says, and then the turn 1 thing that requires shooting appears. At least we have an answer. A big spender. They'll try Crucias this turn. Discard this for greater. Good, a spare one. And then, well, Sheoldred's pretty nice against mono red, apart from against Traumatic Prank. Not a lot of need for that as you have another big spender, but fair enough. See if we get pranked, or do we do this? We see if we get pranked. At least we gain the life for drawing, so it's not the end of the world that it costs us 1 more. And now it's GG pretty much. GG. Mono red easy. Alright, next one. Had some absolute bangers with this deck so far, so I'm hoping for some more good games. I like close games. Claudia Grimoire. Nice hand. Do we need this on green? Yeah, green. Scry. Nah. We've got our green source and we can always discard Crucias, hopefully. I always find that if I keep extra lands just because I need them, I'll always draw more. So I tend to bottom them if I've got enough for like enough mana for 2/3 of my hand. Yeah, that's nice. I think we'll go Crucias first. Start ditching this land. Ramp ourselves. Yeah, pull a bit more removal. Could have Molten Impacted this, but 4-drop isn't the end of the world. Hopefully. We'll see. Gwenna is definitely one to take care of though. 2 mana in any colour is not... is something to deal with. So we'll deal with that. And do we deal with the Loam Speaker? If we use this, then we don't have something to Crucias, because I don't want to Crucias either of the others, so I think I'll just do like this, and then we'll discard that. Okay, got something to Crucias next turn. It's Crucias. Augur. It's going to waste our 1 damage in the bank, but that's okay. Yeah, so we'll go with the Connoisseur. Oh, Silverback Elder. Okay, then we'll discard this. Greater. Storm the Festival. Sweet. Let's see what we're in store for. Topiary Stomper. That isn't going to do it. Can't block. And that's definitely not going to do it. GG. We'll have these two. We'll have black. Yeah, fine. Lethal. Good game. That one was pretty easy. Let's try again. Alright. I'll be ready. Not my favourite hand I've turned over, but we will accept it. This can go on green. No. We'll have to pay 1 life for the underdog, but after that we'll be okay. That's mono red, okay, but at least we're on the play. Give them something to deal with. And they can't deal with it and play the creature for Kamano, hopefully. And we have an absolute metric ton of removal, so I want them to play a creature that I can impact and then hold open melt through, ideally. And then use the spare mana to kill the etching and something else. The following turn is my dream. It's my dream. Abbey Ray, let me live my dream. My dream of impact. I'm thinking of almost making this picture my channel logo. I use this card so much. It's got haste, so it's getting in as well. 2 of them? Darn. Pretty strong. But I'm gonna live my dream here. Because we need to get rid of the etching, because otherwise our underdog gets exiled and we don't want that. interesting.
Listen, pal, I'm with the Gatewatch, so you might as well give up on
I feel like we want to use like our extra damage on the Chandra so we can finish it. Okay, we'll use it on the Epicure. We can finish Chandra with Impact. Okay, so use Impact on her, and then we can save the Adversary and hold Open Grasp. All this removal has been pretty useful, and it's probably going to continue to be. That would have cost us 2 if it had hit us anyway. And the Underdog army might see us through. As long as we get one more land to flash this back, we'll be in pretty good shape. If we draw a land and they don't play a creature, we've got lethal. So, if I hold for a land, which is 47% chance, that would be 9 damage from creatures, and then we can melt through to face for 11. But we have to take 3, 5. Guess if we don't pull a land, yeah, we didn't. I can always play accordingly. We'll go with 1. Because if they get a land, they can play this from their graveyard. But we've got 2 blockers. Oh. It's a shame. We were close to victory there. But you can always lose against Mono Red and Alchemy, as proven. Alright. Tarts. T-A-R-T-S. Decent. Little slow, but can't call it too slow with these 2. That's nice. It means we're not getting hammered by red on the draw. We'll just try this. We don't care too much if it gets countered. It does not. Seek new knowledge. So I'm guessing we're against a power 9 deck, maybe. Let's see. Yep. There is the bringer of the power 9. So let's get rid of that, as I'm sure they'll block, and I think we prioritise damage here. Nothing. Okay, let's attack and see where we end up. Any counter spell for this? No. And then what are you doing? Colossal Sky Turtle. They're going to try and seek the power 9 cards, the good ones anyway. See if they've got another turn. Depopulate. Okay, we can handle that for now. Put this in. Get an egg. Got the Underdog in the bank. This we could blood away, maybe. Yeah, they're really digging through their deck. Didn't like the first 2, which is a good sign for us. Okay, so we'll attack. What I'll probably do is scry with this one. We And put this green. Don't want any more. These are hold. I probably should have underdog, to be honest, but they're definitely short of land. Searching for more power 9 pieces. Thankfully they got loads of cards in their deck, so okay, there's one more Oracle to kill. Thing is, they pad their deck with a lot of crap, don't they? So don't think we're seeing a whole load of other creatures come out. Yeah, definitely a Kindling. Because this could give us something that finishes it next turn. We've got our full set of eggs lined up. I mean, if they end up taking infinite turns, then we could lose. Could be what we're about to see. If they have a way of infinitely getting that card out of the graveyard. Just more extra turns. What? Why would you do that? Oh, just to get the instant out of their hand. Okay, so this costs 2. They've got an untapped land. No, they haven't. Ah, but they got a Mox Pearl. Okay, more turns. Okay, that was a lot of fluff for nothing. GG. Alright. Cora. This is a nice one, because we've got a Melt Through and a Jarsyl. This has to be a green. Find us another land. Oh, we have got 3. Maybe we don't need another land. That might have been the exact card I wanted, actually. In hindsight. We'll get rid of this now. Save them being able to sacrifice it. We will not Melt Through in the graveyard this turn anyway. If they hold open like that, it's a bit annoying. But we'll try jamming this anyway. We've got a Takenuma to get it back. And the more, yeah, if it is removal, the more we can use, the better. Okay, it's getting sacrificed.
And you think you can win? Sacrifices must be made.
Can always Melt Through this even if they remove Sheoldred, so. What are you doing, Cora? Well. So gain control of this.
Drop it.
I don't have any removal for Will, so they'll be able to sacrifice another creature. Yeah, that's annoying. really stop it, so... We'll have to accept it. What does the black version of this do? When you do, draw 3 cards unless I pay 5 life. I think I'd pay the 5 life. Although I can't. I could and go to 1. A bit vicious, this deck. It's a steel sack deck, isn't it? With the deadly disputes. I wonder what other steel cards they're running other than Will. Oh, that's looking very bad news for me. I don't think I have any way of gaining life. Apart from Shelly. GG. Close. But that will really won the game for them. Alright. Snufkin Espresso. This is much better hand. Much more exciting. I just think this is such a slept on card. I mean, I know it's played a lot, but these days it's not, and it is so strong. We'll probably have to kill the Outcast before it attacks, obviously. So if we go for the throat this time, we can underdog and melt through next turn. So I think that's what we'll do. If we get a turn. Oh goodness, here we go. Okay. No. Ooh, I think it is still underdog and melt through, but it's close. Crucias is so good. Could have been Kindling the following turn, but letting them get these rolling is just always bad. It always feels like you can get away with it one turn, and then it just always comes back to bite you. Okay. Yikes. A 4-2 that I can't kill at sorcery speed is a bit grim. So... Shelly is very good. That's what we wanted against red. Look at this. Absolute bullshit. Bet they've got the one burn spell that they need. It's some. Oh no, I guess the instant speed things could be these channeling. Okay. Then what? Little red player. What you gonna do when the Shelly comes for you? Phoenix chick. This means they have lightning strike. then we don't block. Yeah, we don't block. Because they can't do 3 with Lightning Strike. And then we gain 2. And then do we do Crucias? Discard the Grasp. Although it is our only instant speed removal, it costing ourselves 2 life at this point would seem very nasty. Storm could be good. That could be good. Got the 6 mana. Just going for face, leaving Crucius alone. Even with a Shelia. Okay. Top. Come on, mono red. I cannot believe they top decked Prank. The only thing that would work. Literally the only thing. Next one. Thales Slap. Thales Slap? Not sure. God, we haven't seen this card pretty much in all of our play. There are only 2 of them in the deck, but would have had to sort us out a couple of games. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Oracle of the Alpha. The less of that, the better. A breed, yeah. Then we can Jarsyl back our dreams and get rid of Key. Unless this gets countered, that would be pretty grim. Or killed. Another Abrade. Okay. We can keep doing pressure. Fine. Struggling for land. Still struggling. Try playing this. Okay, just a quick look at the stats. So I only really want to use this latest version of the deck because I was messing around with other versions and they weren't as good. So version 4, which is the one I've played 9 games on, all in this video. This is pretty much the first usage I've had in this format of the deck. Has gone 6-3, so 67% win rate. So obviously a relatively small sample size, but 67 is pretty good in Platinum at the moment, where you're still finding a lot of Mythic players because people who haven't logged on after the holidays and people are trying to climb. So you're playing against typically pretty good players at the moment, and you can see that, you know, the decks that we're playing against, Mono Red has been 2 of our 3 losses. So Mono Red and Rakdos, tricky. Anything that's a bit slower, and Mono Red we did beat once, but anything that's a bit slower we have typically done better against. I think having a lot of removal is good. Our removal is a little bit painful with the Grasp though, so yeah, the Melt Throughs and the Dreams, I think if you draw these then you'll do okay against Mono Red. Otherwise it could be tricky because, you know, things like Kayla's Kindling and Darigaaz are obviously very slow, and I think if you could sideboard you could beat that, but then you'd be playing against, you know, maybe better best of 3 decks. But anyway, I think it's a really good fun deck. I cannot stress how good I think Crucias is, and I think Jarsyl Dark Age Scion is also extremely good. I just only have 2 copies of it. I'm very keen to make a deck around this card once I've managed to get 2 more copies. But yeah, Crucias just seems so strong to me. Getting basically a free treasure and upgrading a card, either in choosing up or down in mana cost, so getting a card that you more likely want. It's just so strong for free on a 3/3 body. So yeah, I think this card is incredible. I think this card is very good, and I'm keen to sort of play with them a bit more. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to making more content coming in the new year. I might focus a couple of bits on a couple of decathlon events. I have played a few myself. I think I've got through number 2 and number 4 so far. So I might record for number 3, 5 or 6. Let's see. If there's a really interesting one, then I'll make a video on that, but otherwise I'll probably just do the finals event, assuming that I can make it into that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into making some more content in the new year, and I'll see you next time.